Which socially acceptable behavior makes you cringe? People who apparently think that it is okay to have a conversation on speakerphone while out in public regardless of where. Not telling someone when there is something wrong with their looks that they can fix in a few seconds. I will tell people if they have food in their teeth, or if they have hair standing up, or whatever it is, as long as it is not on purpose and can be fixed in seconds and or a quick trip to the nearest mirror. Forcing food on people. If I tell you I don't want food or I'm full, please believe me, it's awful trying to go on a diet when your co-workers keep trying to force you to eat the office cupcakes. If you tell them you're on a diet, they feel compelled to reassure you about your weight. If you try to politely decline food, they keep asking you, are you sure? Just one cupcake won't hurt, there's no winning. I just tell them sorry, I don't eat anymore, and they get really confused. The culture in retail where someone can complain about some small slight or small defect that doesn't affect anything in the slightest, and corporate will bend over backwards rewarding the customer and punishing the employee for following the rules they set in the first place. Not only does this behavior breed resentment among your employees, but it also trains your customers to behave horribly in order to get free stuff. We have one child. She is 6. People constantly ask me if I'm having another. I say sure and leave it at that. Then it becomes, why haven't you had one yet? Is it you? Does your husband not want any? I'm polite still and say it just hasn't happened yet. But thanks. Then it's followed with, why though? She's big already. You don't want a large gap. Have you been trying? Seriously, I hate that I'm too polite to say the truth. That I've had 6 miscarriages already, so just leave me alone about it. This is exactly why I don't ask anyone about their reproductive plans unless they bring it up first. Speaking ill of your significant other constantly. If they're so awful, why are you with them? I wouldn't be with someone I had cause to speak poorly of, and I certainly wouldn't want my so to be bitching about me every day. I always wondered the same thing. Like, sure, the occasional fight is normal, but for some people, I honestly wonder why they're together if they feel the way they say. Old married couples being awful to each other, especially when they try to involve me in it too. No thank you. I don't want anything to do with your misery and dysfunction. I see you've met my parents. Being obnoxious because it's seen as being outgoing, quirky, fun. It's none of those things. You don't have a personality, you're just loud. Yes, thank you. Especially when you're loudly just ripping off crap you've seen on the internet or things people have said to you. I don't know if anybody has said this yet, but crap talking service workers. Sure, working at Denny's or McDonald's isn't the most glamorous or stable job, but it's still a job. If you're going to crap on these people, you don't deserve your drunken stack of flapjacks at 3 in the morning. The same goes for gas station attendants, janitors, cabbies, cashiers, waiters, and any other job that can land you under minimum wage. If you don't respect the person performing a service, you shouldn't get the service. Period. Totally agree. In high school I worked at McDonald's, and I couldn't believe how horrible some people treat you for working in fast food. Especially a grown adult treating a high school kid that way. Now that I'm an adult with a child of my own, I teach him to always respect people at those places. Especially if you don't want your food spit into lol. I'm not sure if this is socially acceptable, but it happens way too much. If you are waiting for a subway, tram, train, bus, whatever, and it arrives at the station, let the people WHO need to get off before you get on. Don't stand right in front of the doors and block them. I take the subway very often, and I encounter this way too much. Just stand to the side. It's not hard. When I am leaving a bus and people try to get in and I'm one of the first leaving, I intentionally make myself wide and push back anyone trying to get in. I get some weird looks sometimes, but it's so worth it. Things just flow so much better. Asking people why they're still single. Just be ugly like me. Nobody has to ask if they can see why. Telling people they're too thin. The word usually used is skinny and the tone is usually disgust. Oh my god, you're so skinny. I once overheard 2 female co-workers having a purposefully loud conversation about my weight. One of them remarked, he's handsome but he's way too skinny now. I don't know if it's the same for women, but as a man I've taken some real crap for my weight. It seems like it might be an American thing as well.
Because 6 feet 1 inches and 175 pounds is perfectly healthy by all medical standards. But that's when I got the most comments about it. I'd lost 20 or so pounds of pure fat, but instead of feeling more confident I ended up more self-conscious. That's pretty fricked. The only person who's allowed to tell me I'm too skinny is my mother, as she passes me another slice of pie. Rubbing a pregnant woman's belly. Not pregnant, maybe in the future. If that ever happens to me, I plan to rub their belly in return, whoever it is. People that can't hold normal discussions and instead start to scream or get very angry because your opinion isn't true according to them. This is my father-in-law. Only his opinion is valid in his mind. Asking people about their marriage procreation plans at social events. Like WTF. That's deeply personal, and you never even know if people are trying but having trouble conceiving. I don't know if this is a regional thing, but around here it's very common to just stop responding to someone if you no longer want to talk to them. You end up nervously talking more because it's such an abrupt end, but they keep on ignoring you. This is very frustrating for obvious reasons, but everyone does it. Hey dude, you see that show last night? Yeah, that crap was crazy. The bassist pulled off some crazy stunt, comma, yeah, we don't get a lot of shows like that anymore, comma, pulls out phone, comma, confusion and social anxiety intensifies. Jeff, you freaking butthole, how TF are you going to bail out a conversation you started with Emmy? People not controlling their loud children. Your kid is climbing on tables and screaming, disrupting everyone else's meal, and you're not even going to attempt to handle it? Talking about yourself too much without being prompted. Forcing kids to hug kiss people when they don't want to. Sil, give auntie a kiss. Kid hides face. Me. Oh, it's okay, she's not in the mood. TBH, I'd prefer not to be kissed because I'm not a touchy person, so I'm cool with it. Sil, give auntie a kiss right now or you'll hurt her feelings. Don't you love auntie? Kid getting even more shy and embarrassed, annoyed. Me, honestly it's fine. Really. Sil, give auntie a kiss or you don't get a snack later. FFS, just let the kid decide if she wants to kiss someone or not. Don't force her. I don't even care. Stop trying to guilt trip her on my behalf. Oh, this child is the same age as you. You guys have to become friends and play together. Why? It's so that the moms can drink wine together. Playing your music at full blast from a speaker when you're in public. Yeah, a lot of people find it annoying, but the fact that so many people can do it and not be embarrassed means it's becoming socially acceptable. I am so sick of people letting their kids watch YouTube videos on full volume in public. Give your kid some freaking headphones. Spitting. The pool I work at gets a lot of people from China who are constantly spitting on the side of the pool and in the water. I remember seeing a sign above a water fountain in Hong Kong along the lines of spitting in the water fountain is against the rules. Makes much more sense now. Making fun of people based on the way they talk. I see this too a lot on Reddit, but you'd think people would understand that people who grow up in different places talk differently. Taking pictures of everything you do and posting them online. Tons of people showing up to the hospital when a couple have just given birth, stripping the parents of relaxing bonding time between them and their baby just so they can all pass around and hold the baby and expose it to every germ they have. It rubs me raw. Controversial but gay flirting culture. I live in a pretty gay friendly area, but it is really common to see people get backed into corners, groped, butt slapping, etc. It's completely obnoxious and in many cases qualifies as assault. Shame on you. I don't care who a person is. Don't grope people that haven't given you permission to. Don't corner people. Don't intimidate people. And don't get offended if someone says no. Why do people lick their fingers to separate my papers at the printer? Maybe I don't want your saliva on my report, Karen. I work at a bank and people lick money to count it. With Canadian money this actually makes it harder to count. I put licked money in a counting machine and a couple people are starting to be like, why aren't you counting it yourself? But it's because you fricking licked it, you moron. Asking people when they are having children, or assuming they are if they don't. What if I don't want kids? What if they have been having trouble getting pregnant? No one thinks about this stuff and then decides to immediately start dispensing advice. It gets old fast.
Or, God forbid, your child died. I don't usually make posts on Facebook and proceeds to go into a 5-paragraph political essay. That reminds me of the people that like to flaunt their morality by saying, I don't support the death penalty, but in the case of blank, I'll make an exception. Well, guess what, Aunt Debbie? If you support the death penalty for blank, then you support the fricking death penalty. And I ain't even mad about that, but like, own it. I once dated a girl who died of an unknown reason. Aneurysm? Mild heart attack? We didn't yet know. Within a couple weeks I was at work, and across a quiet, crowded room of mostly strangers, a mutual work friend asks, hey, did they find out what happened with my girlfriend who just died tragically at a relatively young age? Keep in mind we're talking about an adult in their 30s who should know better. Just because the question sounds innocent, doesn't mean that it's okay to ask one of the people closest to the deceased, who's still in mourning, in front of a bunch of strangers at work. I made the mistake of using a reflexive your mom joke at lunch with some of my raunchier co-workers, then suddenly remembering that the one guy's mom died of lung cancer like 2 months back. He didn't say anything, but I sure felt like a jerk after that. Talking on the phone while interacting with someone at a cash register or help desk. The person helping them can't exactly ask them to get off the phone. It's just so disrespectful. This seems to be mostly a baby boomer generation thing, but arguing with people at stores and restaurants etc. when the workers do not bow down, bend the will of the universe and change the rotation of the earth for you. Here's a hint, suckers. It's called the heliocentric model because the earth revolves around the sun, not you. In an office, scented candles, oil burners, diffusers, or any other device designed to pump a scent into the air. I hate them so much. They smell like cleaning supplies and they're so strong that I can actually taste them, which pisses me off when I'm eating lunch and my sandwich turns Lysol flavored. They are olfactory terrorism. People applauding sarcastically when a waiter/waitress breaks something. That's the policy at some places. Plates break all the time, so it's supposed to be a light-hearted way to embrace the awkwardness. I think it's jarring for a lot of guests though. You have been spotted by the rare flying floofer. If you comment good boy below, he don't steal your hot dogs anymore. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.